Let's be honest. Why do we chase people who clearly don't value us? He cheated, but you still want him back? He ghosted, but you can't move on? He's in a whole new relationship, but you're convinced you can manifest them back. Does this sound familiar? If so, it's time for some real talk because none of this is love. I always find it funny that most of the people that are coaching on love have no idea what it is. People that do know exactly what love is wouldn't try to force anyone to be with them, wouldn't even want somebody that doesn't want them because they understand that love begins with themselves. And they wouldn't be tolerating disrespect. They wouldn't be tolerating things that just doesn't work for them. And in fact, they would be completely turned off and it would shut down any relationship ever. And it would break it and make it fall apart because love begins with yourself and what you accept and what you don't accept. And a lot of the times, because we're unaware that we're void filling or our wounds are at play, or maybe it's a poor self concept, and we tolerate things that we shouldn't. So today, I really want to go deep into why we do this and why forcing a person's free will isn't the flex you think it is. And most importantly, how to manifest love the right way from a healed and empowered place. I know the manifestation community has convinced you that you can force someone back into your life. If you farm hard enough, script enough, visualize enough, you can override their choices. I know so many of you are deep into that TikTok spiral watching videos that tell you you can make them obsessed with you. If you don't give up, they'll come back. Just ignore reality and persist. But let me tell you something. Reality isn't the problem. Your self-concept is. If your first instinct when someone mistreats you is to try harder to make them stay, we really need to talk. Because why is your love dependent on suffering? And why do you believe that the only way to be happy is to make someone who rejected you change your mind? Think on that for a minute. I get it. You think you love them. Well, let's break this down. If someone cheated, ghosted, or ignored you, and your immediate reaction is, how do I make them stay? Then love isn't the goal. Control is, your ego is, the opposite of everything you think love is. You're not trying to manifest a healthy relationship. You're trying to manifest an apology in the form of commitment. You're hoping that if they stay, it will prove you are worthy all along. But it won't. Because even if you do get them back, you're still left with the same self-concept and attracting the same dysfunction in the first place. And that cycle will repeat and repeat and repeat until you break it. If it's about your fear of pain, the need for external validation, or the extreme false belief that if someone loves you, you'll finally be worthy, then all of these are a lie. Because worth isn't proven through manipulation. Love isn't something you chase, something you are inherently. And those of us that know that this isn't the way. So why do we do this? Why do we fixate on people who treat us the worst? The answer is simple. Trauma bonding. Many of us mistake intensity for intimacy, chaos for connection. If love was unstable, inconsistent, unavailable in childhood, our nervous system registers this as home. We don't crave love, we crave what's familiar. That's why the nice guy feels boring. That's why you feel anxious when someone actually respects your boundaries. That's why you think it's passion when someone plays hot and cold with your emotions. It's not love. It's wounding disguised as attraction. Let's be real. If a person came into your life right now who loved you without drama, who chose you, valued you, and made you feel safe, would you even recognize it? Or would you sabotage it because it feels too easy? Now let's get into the part that no one wants to talk about: free will. If you believe in manifestation, then you believe that thoughts create your reality, which means you wouldn't want someone else scripting your name in their journal and forcing you into a relationship you never wanted in the first place. So, why is it okay when you do it? The golden rule about treating others as you want to be treated is the foundation of all real spiritual practices. Love is a mirror. If you're manifesting from a place of desperation, lack, and ego, guess what you're going to attract? More desperation, more lack, more unfulfilling situations. Because love isn't something you force, it's something you allow. And listen, I get it. The idea that if you affirm hard enough, they'll come back is comforting. But if forcing someone to love you wasn't okay when it happens to you, then it's not okay for you to do it either. It's not love, it's really control. And today I want to focus on breaking this toxic pattern once and for all. So, how do we shift? How do we stop manifesting trauma bonds and start attracting actual love? Well, it starts with your self concept, with knowing deep in your bones that you are worthy of love, respect, and consistency without chasing it, without proving you deserve it. It means shifting from, I need them to love me so I can feel whole, to, I am whole and the right person will recognize that. Shifting from, I have manifested them back, no matter what, I have to do it, to, I choose a love that chooses me. Or, I'll never find someone like them again, to, if I could attract that person from a wounded state, imagine what I can attract from a healed one. It's so funny because I have when I was creating this episode, I have little red X's on the things that I would never say, and little green check marks on all the things that I would say. And that makes the difference. It proves what a healthy self concept looks like versus one that's not. The red flags, the red X's are things that I would just never, they give me the ick to think of. And the reason for that is because I have this ride or die relationship for my soul. I truly love her for exactly who she is. I respect her. I admire her intelligence. I admire everything about her and know that she deserves the world, and knows that she doesn't deserve to be disrespected, that she doesn't deserve to be cursed at. She doesn't deserve any of that. And hence, I would never do that to other people. I try really hard not to. Do I lose my way? Yes. I try really hard not to. And that keeps me magnetic, folks. But it's because I'm coming from a healthy self concept. So I'm telling you from experience that when you shift like that, suddenly you're not chasing people who run. You just never do that. You're not convincing people to stay. Again, you'd never do that. And you're not addicted to the highs and lows of anxious attachment style. You're not addicted to the drama. In fact, the drama turns you off so much that you'd rather be alone. Because you choose yourself rather than bullshit. So instead, if you're willing to become embodied love, and from that place, your relationships, your manifestations become a reflection of your healing, not your wounds, changes everything. And I promise you that it means that when you start doing the work, you stop chasing and start choosing. That when your entire reality shifts, suddenly you're not obsessing over the person who left, who treated you badly, who cursed at you, who cheated at you. Any of these things, you just don't care. They turn you off. And you're not waiting for the next text and you're not panicking over their silence because you're rooted in the belief that you are worthy of love and respect and honor, and you behave accordingly. And trust me, that energy, that's what attracts real love, without games, without drama, and without suffering. Break free from these unhealthy patterns. We must focus on healing our attachments, our wounds, our fears of pain, whatever is motivating us, whether our ideas of we're not worthy, whatever these things are, these lies, they must be addressed. And this involves self awareness. Like Neville Goddard says, the power of awareness. Okay? Self awareness is key in recognizing and understanding your attachment style and how it influences your relationships. In recognizing that whether or not you are in a fear based pattern or a healthy one, whether you're sabotaging something good or destroying something not worth it by holding on to something that isn't valuing you. You have to become aware of what is going on and why it's so easy to let go of someone that doesn't treat you well. Why it doesn't even hurt anymore. You got to be willing to look at these things. And you got to give yourself compassion. Treat yourself with kindness and understanding. Acknowledge past hurts without judgment. Even harder, forgive those that hurt you, because it has a way of creeping in and destroying things. And if you're aware enough, you would be able to see it. And if you're not, then you'll destroy good things too. I know of a woman that had a really good person, but because she was in such a toxic place, she couldn't recognize it. 20 years later, they realized their mistake. That person was still the good egg that he was initially, but he was married to someone who valued him, and her opportunity was gone. That's not to say that you blame yourself, but that's to say that you got to give yourself compassion, and you also got to become aware of what you're doing to others and to yourself. I always like to do this, I guess this is where my empathic genes come over, where my emotional IQ shines through the best. Put myself in their shoes. So if I was the one that was cursing, screaming, yelling all the time, would I want to be on the receiving end of that or not? And I understand how they feel. And that helps me become aware of my actions and vice versa. But the first thing that I always do is look out for the soul inside my body. That is my job. But that comes from my self-concept, from my self-compassion, from my self-awareness, from being present. And the next thing I do is I crave healthy connections, not toxic ones. I'd rather build relationships that are built on mutual respect and trust and open communication than ones that disrespect me, disregard me, or that don't value me. Stuff like that just turns me off. It's just not for me. But again, you have to become aware enough to want these things, to understand that you're worthy of these things, and to really recognize these patterns, because by addressing these areas, you can shift your manifestations from a place of lack and desperation to one of abundance and self-worth. I really spoke from the heart today, and I meant every word that I said. So if this hits home, if you felt this, if you're ready to finally stop chasing love and start embodying it, then I have something for you. I've created a guided meditation to help you shift your self-concept and to start attracting healthy, aligned relationships from a place of true self-worth. You'll find it in the description below. I'd love to hear from you. Drop a comment and tell me, have you ever tried manifesting someone back? And if so, did it actually make you feel loved? Did it fail miserably? Let's talk about it. Totally open to hearing it. I want to remind you that manifestation is a powerful tool, but it comes with ethical responsibilities. Golden rule: do unto others as you would have them do unto you serves as a vital compass. If you wouldn't want someone to manipulate your feelings or infringe upon your free will, it's essential to ensure you're not doing the same to others through your manifestations. True manifestation aligns with mutual respect and honors the autonomy of all involved. Please, if you take nothing else from this episode, remember that the most profound manifestations arise from a foundation of self-love and respect for others. By honoring both your desires and the free will of others, you'll pave the way for genuine, fulfilling connections. If this discussion resonated with you, please consider subscribing to the channel and sharing this episode with others who might benefit. Your support helps us continue these important conversations. Thank you for joining me today. Until next time, please do the entire world a favor, beginning with yourself, and embrace your worth, honor the journey, and manifest ethically and authentically. God bless you all. Thank you for joining me today.